AI is going to be a big thing. That was more than 10 years ago. And I started talking about concept of AGI because that's something like really excites me. If we can get to AGI one day, that will be amazing. Like imagine like you can have unlimited amount of brain power.
Welcome to the Imagine AI Live podcast. I'm your host, Chris Madden, and today we have with us the founder of ChatSimple, Hao Sheng. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, I'm super excited to have you. You're going to be at the Imagine AI Live conference in Las Vegas, May 28th to the 30th. Looking forward to meeting you in person. But I thought it'd be great to get you on the podcast because you haven't been yet. And I want to know, first of all, what is ChatSimple?
So in short, ChatSimple, we are building the next generation of AI inbound SDR, sales development representative.
So what does that look like when somebody goes to a website that has ChatSimple? What does that look like?
I always think website like all you can eat. When you go onto a website, you are overwhelmed with all the options, all the buttons you can click on, all the menu items. So if we look at a website nowadays, especially B2B website, they usually spend from a couple hundred page to a couple thousand pages. The content there are all you can consume, but no one actually spend that much time to consume all the content. So it's like all you can eat. You have lots of choice, but at the end of the day, you can only pick a few ones. With ChatSimple, we want to turn that all you can eat experience to a fine dining experience where a waiter like AI come to you, ask, what do you want to eat? What do you prefer? What are you looking for? Then serve you the right content at the right time. So it makes the experience much smoother. And for visitors or for diners, it's a much better experience for them.
That's a nice way to put it. So you go to somebody's website and there's just so many options. There's so many things to choose from, and eventually you do end up choosing something. But is it the right thing you were looking for? Is it what you really want to know? So ChatSimple it's a chat bar on the person's website, and it knows everything about the website and knows everything about the company, and you can ask it questions, right?
Yeah, at the current format, ChatSimple manifests as a chat bar at the bottom of the website where you can chat and you can do communication, you can book a meeting, you can drive the CTA. But I think this is the very early stage of what's going to happen. So at ChatSimple, we have a hypothesis. It's all about human to AI interface. We believe in the future, the business are going to be run by AI. So largely by AI, because AI going to communicate with the visitors, with the potential customers. And the human to human interface we build right now, like we have the face to face chat or like what we have over the phone, is going to be deprecated and replaced by a human to AI interface. But what's the difference between human to human and human to AI? I think that's the key. When human to human, when we communicate, we mainly use text, voice. But when it comes to human to AI are much more than can just text you back or talk to you. AI can actually generate UI, can generate images, can show you a Google map. So this is very different from the current way of how we communicate. So at ChatSimple, we have a belief that generative UI is actually the future.
Talk about the vision a little bit there more. So, are you bringing in AI avatars to talk for the company? Is that on the roadmap?
Yeah. Uh, AI avatar is certainly on the roadmap. It brings us back to like 20 years ago. We have Clipper, like that Clipper can fly
Oh yeah, yeah.
little Clipper in the Word document and
Yeah.
never actually take off. I think the intention behind the Clipper is, I think at Microsoft, they always think like you can build a connection with that Clipper and it can be your teacher, your how to use Microsoft products. But that never happened. But thinking back, I don't think the hypothesis is wrong. Like people can build certain relationship with AI, just like I have certain relationship with ChatGPT. It knows all my information and I trust it a lot. When it comes to business, it's about relationship building. When it comes to using a tool, it's about understanding the tool, and you, at the same time, you can build a relationship with that business. So when it comes to virtual avatar, we just think right now may be the right time to do it, because 20 years ago, it was not enough. The technology, it's a very, very traditional chatbot that can
Mhm.
only answer a specific question with a prescribed answer. However, we are in 2025. Now AI can truly understand you, can remember everything you say and did. And I think that's the right time to revisit this concept of AI virtual avatar. And eventually we will be able to build long lasting relationship. That's why we are calling ourselves, our mission is to build the world's best human to business interface, where business are largely run by AI. So this human to business relationship, human to business interface, going to be captured by and powered by AI.
Maybe it'd be helpful for our listeners to kind of appreciate how far things have come. How would you describe like the history of the evolution of the website chat bar?
I started my journey with conversational AI 8 years ago when I first founded my company. We found, like, at that time it was infancy of any chatbot. Like, people were start find, oh, rule-based chatbot actually is useful. Lots of B2B company has only one CTA on their website, and in order to drive people to that CTA, there's a huge gap. The gap is when you're visiting the website, you have some level of intent, but you don't have any trust with the business. And you have lots of questions in your mind about whether this is the right solution for you. The CTA is typically like book a meeting or fill a form, very long form sometimes. So it's a very high commitment from very low commitment from visiting website to submit that form. So for especially for B2B business, they start thinking about how do we bridging the gap from you visiting the website to you doing something require lots of effort, some level of effort. So that solution has been the chatbot, because chatbot gives you some context about the things you're curious about. Chatbot connect you to a human being, where a human being make build trust with you. Again, humans main objective is still bring you to a SDR or BDR, right? Like to in order to convert you in B2B world. So I started my conversational AI experience that time. We were thinking about how do we bridge the gap of filing a insurance claim using conversational AI. Turns out what we built is no more than a smart form, because at that time we were really limited by the capability of AI. So afterwards, I joined Google, working on probably one of the largest bot builder platform called Dialogflow. So with Dialogflow, my experience is we can build these very complicated flow, and these flow really trying to achieve different business outcome or result. But the rate of people following these form or following these trees or flows are very, very low, because it's boring, it's robotic, and it's not that great. Oftentimes people come up with a question that's not captured in this tree or flow that conversation architect built. So with that kind of experience, I realized, okay, conversational AI has huge business potential. However, the reality of conversational AI or chatbot, chatbar are not there yet. So oftentimes people were like, I'm not want to talk to any bot, but I want to talk to a human being, because human actually understand me. Bot is like just like a form, like pre-programmed to answer the same thing. I feel stupid talking to these kind of bot, right? So that's the evolution of from purely live chat to bot plus live chat to right now. I think we have a solution where a pure bot, or 90% of the time bot would be sufficient. 10% you might want to connect to a human. Like I said, eventually I do see very likely most business would not need a live chat person. A bot can do everything on their website and help them to convert their online visitors into potential prospect.
It's incredible. And could you talk to the companies you're working with now and the results companies are seeing?
Yeah, absolutely. We have many case study on the ChatSimple website. I will just pick one and talk about it. The name is BigBuy. So BigBuy is the European drop shipping, like they are the biggest European drop shipping kind of B2B business for drop shipper. Their customers are drop shipper and they are like the warehouse, the infrastructure for powering all the drop shipping stores. Naturally, they get lots of questions, inbound and support ticket every single month. So with that, lots of times previously, if they want to capture someone who come to the website, they would be waiting for them to click on the CTA, submit the form, then follow up with them. So with ChatSimple solution, we're able to capture a lot more leads for them on their website. And also they have live chat. So if they see a very active prospect, for example, a prospect coming to the website 3 times in the last week, they can proactively reach out and talk to them and understand their needs. So ChatSimple does 2 things for them. One is greatly increase their top of the funnel to them, top of the funnel, how people convert from a website visitor to a potential leads, leave their informations and for them to follow up. The second thing is allow them to directly communicate with their website visitors by identifying the most promising prospect. The other big side is automate their support ticket. This is again a byproduct of understanding their business and understanding their support doc, and that we can support some tier one kind of support.
All right. And when a company works with ChatSimple, what's the onboarding process like as far as getting the software, getting ChatSimple to understand the business?
I would say one is our current vision, and what's the future version of it. The current version is you just upload. So if you have a website you want the ChatSimple to understand, you just upload the sitemap and upload the website. We will scrape the entire website for you. If you have a document, PDF, you can just upload, throw them into ChatSimple. We'll be able to digest them and feed it to AI. So that's what we think right now, how it works. I always have a hypothesis where I think in the future, the knowledge transfer will be multimodal as well. Just like how we train employees, we should be able to transfer our knowledge. Lots of time it's not documented to in like a conversation. Like how if I were to teach anyone a subject, I would have this meeting. We would have 1 hour meeting where I can maybe teach you how to use ChatSimple. I can teach you how to do accounting. I think in the future, people would have that option to teach AI, and the AI will more and more likely like an employee you hire. You want to onboard them, you want to teach them things, you want to write playbook for them, and of course, you can give them a book or give them a PDF to read or a website to read. So that's what I think the future of knowledge transfer or building the knowledge base for AI going to look like.
Great. And I know you have a very cool new offering, a new product that you're working on called Expertise AI. Can you tell us about Expertise AI?
Yeah, absolutely. The team is super excited when we start building expertise. Um, it's a testimony for our vision that generative UI going to take over the AI to human interface or human to AI interface. So when we think about expertise, it's nichely focused on B2B business, especially for B2B software business. B2B software business are facing an issue. One, what they are selling is very abstract. It's very hard to actually fully understand a piece of software than if you say you are selling shoes, right? It's like everyone have some level of understanding of shoes, but B2B software or B2B business in general are much harder to understand, and the nuance of it can be very different. So expertise is built for B2B business, especially for B2B software or IT businesses. And the interface going to look a lot similar as a ChatSimple, but one key component is AI will also be not only be generating or responding to the text, but AI will respond in a format of a microsite or a full website eventually. So what AI going to do is it's going to generate content on the fly. The content is not going to be just text. It's going to be buttons. It's going to be pictures. It's going to be videos, going to be audios, and we lay them out in a way that's visually appeasing and easy to navigate. For example, I'll give you an example. For example, you say, I want to book a demo meeting. Typically, a chatbot would respond, oh, you can follow this link and then hyperlink to another site where you can book a meeting. With expertise, what it can do is it will have a small window, just the calendar booking interface. You can book the meeting. If you want to go, let's say, find the closest store from you, and this is the next step, but the goal is to show you the Google map without going to the Google map. Just within the window, we will be able to show you the Google map and help you maybe to send to your phone and stuff. Again, this is built for B2B business. More realistic application would be Stripe checkout. If you are saying like, I'm ready to buy it, we would pull up the Stripe interface. You can put in your credit card or check out with like Stripe default payment. Then you can do that right there, leaving the site. So these are some of the things, applications that we think would make sense. And currently, everyone is focusing on chat interface. No matter ChatGPT, Perplexity, they're focusing more on the chat interface. But we think the future of human to business interface or human to AI interface would evolve from chat to a more multimodal interface. I don't have like concrete evidence, but I know the history. The history of the internet start from building an email infrastructure. It used to only be used for university and military use, right? The beginning of the internet, I can email you, you can email me back. It's like a text-based exchange. But at that time, if you let people to imagine what will internet be in 20 years, they'll be like, we'll have faster, more secure email. And maybe the email would be a little bit better. I don't know what way have better editor and stuff. But people don't think, okay, 20 years later, we can face to face have conversation. You can go online and browse, play game, do your work. All the web-based application will be there. You'll be able to do so much with the internet. That's not just an email exchange. I think we are at the same time, the infancy of AI, where you and AI are basically emailing back and forth. It's just a chatting interface. But 20 years later, we'll look at this like it's more than chat. It's more than just like texting back and forth. It's the entire thing can be very, very interactive. So I will make that analogy, and I think that will be the future of AI as well.
Expertise AI, it sounds quite complicated what you want AI to do to make websites from just prompts, or how do you start that process of making the website?
Making a website is not rocket
Mhm.
science, right? We see Wix. You can go to Wix and make a website in matter of minutes. You can go to many different website providers, CMS provider, and you can talk to the AI and make website. The difference between making a website there and us is we are making a completely different website for each one of the visitors. So if you make a website with Wix, everyone see the same website.
Mhm.
But if you are utilizing expertise, everyone see a different website that's personalized for them. Of course, we cannot just pull website out of nowhere. If we don't know anything about the business, we're just making a random website. So in fact, the things we generate and we respond are in a format of understanding the entire business entire original website and with their additional training materials. So we have all the pictures stored, indexed at ChatSimple. And we have all the copyright and maybe visual assets, videos, all indexed. And in real time, when you talk to AI or when you click around, we understand what you're looking for. And based on that understanding, we pull up the right video, image, text, and ask AI to assemble them together into a micro page. I would say this is still very, very new. We are still trying to do it better and better. And I believe this will be probably a 5-year, 10-year journey before we have a very fully flushed, very, very complicated system like AI agent will be able to generate on the fly. But we are taking the first step, and based on our user feedback, they love it. They love what they are seeing with how we utilize their content online.
That's amazing. And people can sign up and try it out today and have your expertise AI create their unique website.
People can go to expertise.ai and then just start a free trial. We have built this so everyone get a taste of how it looked like and see whether it's a solution for them or not.
So you've spoken a bit to the roadmap a little bit there for the company. I want to go back now. And first, before talking about the company, let's talk about Hao Sheng and what is Hao Sheng's origin story?
Yeah, so it's interesting. I had lived in 3 countries. My first 17 years in Shanghai and moved to Toronto for the next like 10 years. Last year, I spent more than half of my year in San Francisco in the Bay Area. And then right now, I spend split half between San Francisco and Toronto.
Wow. And what did you study in at university?
I study engineering, especially specialized in robotic science. Always very much interested in like AI, robotic. During my first year in university, I was like, not first time hearing the concept of AI, but first time get to that aha moment. I'm like talking to my roommate. I'm like, AI is going to be a big thing. That was more than 10 years ago. And I started talking about concept of AGI because that's something like really excites me. If we can get to AGI one day, um, that will be amazing. Like imagine like you can have unlimited amount of brain power and that's as good as each person. So I was start to fantasizing like AGI, and especially I have an analogy where humans' intelligence and the monkey's intelligence are not that different in the eye of AI. One day you can see AI maybe at the intelligence of an ant. The next day it will be a intelligence of a dog. Next day a monkey. Next day human. Then you think it will stop. No, it will not stop. It will just perform superhuman level. The concept of AGI and the superhuman level intelligence was something like I'm super excited, but I always thought it's a fantasy or science fiction. So that's why I'm when I start seeing the sign where I think we are approaching that, I'm like, I have to do something, build my vision. I think this will be the biggest revolution in the human history.
It's great. So you discovered that revolution early because we're certainly in the throes of it right now.
I study at the U of T. U of T, if you know, U of T is a school for people like Jeff Hinton. They win the ImageNet contest with AlexNet 12 years ago. You know, that was the that was the beginning of like people were like, oh, backpropagation, machine learning, you know, but maybe it's more if you are not from U of T or from other academic school, like it will be very foreign. But I was lucky, like this is where like I guess the modern machine learning and AI started. So that concept start being like not very strange to me.
Mm. So University of Toronto, what makes University of Toronto special? I mean, you mentioned the Ilya being from there, and what was your time like there?
Yeah, I think Canada is a place where it's very diverse and it's, you know, I think Jeff Hinton was attracted to Canada because it's more inclusive. Because before there were 20 years of like people were like AI is not a foreign concept for computer science community at all. Like people been thinking about AI for at the beginning of we when we invent computer. Turing has Turing test. For one day, if we can talk to computer like human being, right? Like he thought about AI a long time ago. So, but AI has been almost dead before 2012 for 20, 30 years because there's just like people just don't see it's being possible. And people were thinking like maybe 100 years later, it will be again possible. Progress actually come faster than people thought. And at that time, like probably no one care about go to study AI or machine learning. So I think Canada or U of T is being very inclusive and they've been supporting researcher like Jeff Hinton. It was his research. Yeah. So I think that's quite different and it's a long shot, but at the end of the
Hmm.
day, it turns out to be the right approach.
And so you worked at Google for some time, 2, 3 years, and tell us what you learned from your time at Google.
Yeah, as I mentioned, I have a very strong computer science background, and I choose to study robotic science because robots is always something like AI robots or something like I'm super interested in. So I went to Google. One thing is after my first startup, I realized there's huge potential in conversational AI. However, my first startup, I could not make it work. So for
Mm.
business, I just want to learn a lot. I learned a lot more during my time at Google, seeing how they sign like large Fortune 500 business uh, with their AI solution. So that's the time like I start understand B2B business a bit more, like by talking to other people, not only just engineer, but also talking to people who are more like customer success, salespeople. So I understand a bit more about how do I sell B2B? How do I understand B2B business? Why is conversational important? And the B2B, takes a long time to sell. Like, what's the selling look like? At the same time, of course, the biggest part is also the engineering practice. I learned a lot of good engineering practice that makes the system more robust. I learned how to build pretty much build a SaaS platform because the team I work on, we pretty much rebuilt a solution for adopting AI agent, adopting AI, conversational AI. It's a SaaS platform that we provide to our client. So I learned a lot about best engineering practice, learned a lot about how to build a SaaS platform, which really set the foundation for me to later on build ChatSimple.
And so you founded ChatSimple in 2023. Talk to us about the founding moment and your early team.
Yeah, absolutely. So the moment I decided to start ChatSimple is when I was thinking about, actually, I was having lunch with my brother, and that was like maybe 15 days after ChatGPT got released. He was so excited. He was like, "Oh, do you know ChatGPT?" I'm like, "Oh, okay. Like, how do you know ChatGPT?" He's like, "I'm using ChatGPT to write all my emails. You should also look at other. There's something like Jasper and Copy AI." I'm like, "How do you know Copy AI and Jasper?" You're like, "I'm trying to use these." So I'm like, he. By the way, he's not in tech. He's doing his own like dog treats, dog food brand. And I'm like, people who are not in tech are so enthusiastic about this. And I start thinking like, how can I, this is, as I mentioned, I'm always excited about the progress to AGI. I think this is a turning point where people start realizing we're getting closer and closer to AGI. So what I decided on the moment was like, I need to quit my job. I need to do something. Initial hypothesis is I need to do something with SMB because they are so open to the concept of AI and so open to adopt AI tool. With that belief, I started a chat sample on the things I'm really good at, which is conversational AI, how to leverage conversational AI to help SMBs. That was the initial hypothesis. Uh, Initially, I was just engineer. I was running the show. I have hired an intern, which we later on live in the basement for 3 months to build out the initial prototype and launch ChatSimple around July 2023.
And what does the team look like today?
So the team, we just grow to 9 full-time people at ChatSimple. We have, again, it's a very engineering heavy org. We have 6 engineers, one account executive, one customer success manager, and one marketing person. I consider myself still the engineer.
Yeah. What are, what have you learned as being a CEO, founder? What does it take to be a good CEO?
I would say I'm still learning a lot every day to how to be a good CEO. But one of the biggest realization is I'm much better on the and have much more understanding of business over time. So initially, when we launched ChatSimple, I was having hypothesis as all the good engineer would have. You build a product, you launch it, people will come, people will buy, people will put on their credit card, they will be very happy with it, and then you grow the business from there. Business just take off. The reality cannot be further from that. I would remember we launched ChatSimple product hunt. We have initially a few hundred visitors a day, like for probably 3 to 5 days. Then afterwards, we just see it decline to 5 people came to my website. I'm like, what do I do? Like with 5 people on the website, there's not enough sign up. For 1 month, I was like, I don't know what to do. We should maybe pivot to other things, do A, do B. Then I discovered something called marketing. I'm like, I need to market my product. Otherwise, no one knows about it. Of course, no one would come and register and they eventually pay for it. So where do I start? I start with influencer marketing. I start to talk to influencer, talk about our product, reach out. That's how we start to get initial tractions. After I remember we did the first round of marketing, there were after I wake up and I look at the Stripe dashboard, I was like, there's something put on someone put on their credit card and purchased a $19. I'm like, I cannot believe my eye. I'm like, this is magical.
Yeah.
Initially, I thought, did they make a mistake? Did they just somehow slip? Maybe click on purchase and then not aware. So I start talking to users. I realize, okay, we are providing value and build on the momentum. We slowly build more and more. And over time, I think the biggest learning as the CEO or as the product person, as also as the sales, I realize I cannot sell to everyone. Initial Chat Simple has a pretty broad ICP. We say like, okay, we can help with your sales and customer support. I'm always not a big fan of customer support using AI because I think that's where it needs more human. Also, because I worked in the AI for customer support for a very long time, I don't think there's a good solution out there. So now the expertise, we are narrowly focusing on sales, BDR, SDR on your website, narrowly focus on just the B2B and just the software industry. So we want to serve this particular industry very, very well before we say we go a bit broader. So I think that's also the biggest learning as a CEO or as someone who running a startup, start to understand.
What's been one of the biggest challenges you faced as a CEO?
I still think the biggest challenge was like learning how to do marketing. I was foreign to the concept of marketing for my first many, many years. I always hate ads. I'm like, ads are useless. Definitely not going to be a victim of ads, like not going to buy anything. I think turning the mindset from like an engineer or a builder to a marketer and understand how people make their decision, understand what people are looking for, and even do copywriting to understand what copywriting works, what copywriting doesn't work takes a long time, and I'm still learning it. But I'm visibly getting better and better over time.
Is your company bootstrapped? Do you have venture capital backing?
Yeah, we are very fortunate. We have our great investors backing us. So far for ChatSimple, we raised about 2 million USD so far to date. And we are maybe we will raise more in the future as needed.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
That's a very good question. 5 years, it's so hard to say because I don't know in 5 years what would happen with AI. But I have a concept in 5 years where I personally want to be able to help lots of B2B business to be successful on their website. And this should be very, very intuitive as the name simple suggests. I want to build the world most intuitive way for you to train your AI employee, especially train your AI SDR on your website. I think that if I can do that in 5 years, I'll be more than happy. Yesterday it's a very interesting, we have a very interesting realization of our product is actually very, very easy for senior people to use because we had a webinar where these are lots of people are more in their 50s are about to retire, and then we taught them about ChatSimple, and lots of them find this is much easier than other AI tool they have ever used because most AI tool are built for millennial, for people who are very young on Twitter, on TikTok. Most of the tool are built for them. I think with ChatSimple, our goal is always to help as many people as possible, also be simple in the adoption because we truly believe simplicity is actually very powerful. Simplicity is harder than you build a lot of feature, very hard to use tool. It's actually easier to build. You have to put lots of effort into making your AI application simple. That's actually the hardest.
Shifting a bit into your thoughts on AI, right there, you talked about a bit of the great side of AI, how it helps people and helps elderly people understand things better. And what do you see the rose tinted vision of our AI future, and where can AI have the most positive benefit on the world?
I think it's the amount of care. You can get so much caring from AI where it's impossible to for any other technology to produce that. Meaning, I think the number one cause for lower than average life expectancy is loneliness because like lots of people feel not only lonely but also there's no way for them to express themselves. Lots of time they are stuck in their own world, and some are very introverted people, and that they don't have someone to have conversation. Oftentimes they have thoughts that they cannot communicate. But AI will provide a way to provide care at scale and really provide personalized care. AI can listen to you all the time. Yeah, that's just what I think would make the most benefit. And these care, I don't think are artificial. These care, I do think if AI has long-term memory, that is care. That is very similar to someone who really care about you and can have long-term memory about you, can communicate you across time. Maybe 10 years later, still remember the things you talked to it. Yeah, so that's the biggest, I think, the biggest factor that AI can bring to humanity. And of course, customer support is just a very small manifestation of the care from AI.
Yeah, that's interesting. I hadn't really elaborated on that angle before, and how it is really going to be a caring device and a way to bring people a lot of comfort and companionship. So now turning to what keeps you up at night about AI, and what are you worried about with the progress of AI and what it could do to the world?
It may be very cliche, but I've been thinking about the possibility of like superhuman level intelligence from a long time before. One thing I really afraid is we lose agency. Humanity as a general lose the power to decide its fate. What's it going to do? It become a lot more demotivating because AI beats you on every aspect. Why don't you just have AI do it? Like you want to start a startup, you're never going to outcompete AI. You want to, I don't know, trade the stock, be like, why don't you just have AI trade the stock? So human may lose agency to do everything. Like I think I don't want to live in a world where we don't have agency, like we are more uh, like an animal in the zoo. So
Mm.
that's the something like I'm really concerned about.
Well, Sheng, final question. What advice do you have for young people thinking about their career and how to future proof themselves in this world? Perhaps somebody in university right now deciding what they should study, how they should approach AI.
I want to tell a story about one of my family friends when she has a kid now choosing the major. I'm very much against like choosing like chemical major because these majors are typically a bit harder to find a job. But I think I said like when she comes to me, I'm like her kids want to choose the chemical major. I'm like, no, don't choose it. Don't choose it. It's not a major that I would recommend. But she said my kid like it. He just wanna study chemical engineering, right? Like I'm like, okay. Then she said something like, despite I say to her this, like, no one actually knows what lies ahead. I think at this moment it's more for her. She said, if my kids like this, I just let them choose it.
Mm.
Thing is, I can not be responsible for their choice if I tell them to pick computer science, like later on, like maybe turns out not a great fit. So I really admire what she made decision for her kids. She's in the power to tell them like not to do this, not to do that. But at the end of the day, she's like, just do it. Do pick the one that you like.
Yeah, I think that's some good advice. Follow your passion. This is a long term. You have to think about what you would enjoy doing years from now, despite any changes or hardship. And you really have to find that internal motivation. And if you don't have that internal motivation into the area that you're studying in, what's the point? Well, how I'm super excited to see you in about a month here at Imagine AI Live. And is there any final message you'd like to say to our audience and about how they could find you or your company?
Yeah, absolutely. You can message me directly at info@chatsimple.ai and check out expertise.ai. I think that's something you will enjoy, the audience of Chris.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for joining the Imagine AI Live podcast.
Looking forward to be at the Vegas.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Can't wait. All right. See you, Hao.
See you, Chris.